The 1980s popular styles included leg warmers, parachute pants, Chuck Taylors, and oversized shirts. Popular hairstyles were blown out and poofy, most seen in rock groups.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
But there are no miracles for those who have AIDS.
It's now June 1985. It's been 1 year since I was diagnosed with AIDS-related pneumonia, and after 2 hospitalizations and several minor illnesses so far, I feel a little anxiety.
But just 70 days into his presidency, all his plans will be put on hold.
On March 30th, 1981, Reagan was walking out of a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. President Reagan and 3 others were shot and wounded by John Hinckley Jr. Although 6 shots were taken, only 1 managed to hit the president, and luckily, no one was fatally injured.
He was very close to death, not once but twice. Once the bullet, but then he developed an infection, and the infection really almost killed him. They kept that very quiet.
The White House basically says the president had a close call, but he's fine. Nothing has changed. In fact, in private, a lot has changed.
But Ronald Reagan persevered and pushed for the end of Cold War tensions.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow.
Ronald Reagan was elected in 1980. He proposed a controversial economic policy called supply-side economics, which turned into what Americans know as Reaganomics. His policy reduced tax rates to spur economic growth, controlling the money supply to reduce inflation, deregulation of the economy, and reducing government spending. Reagan showed his distaste in unions when Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organizations, or PATCO, went on strike. Reagan ordered them back to work. They then refused, and finally, without hesitation, Reagan fired all strikers. In the election of 1984, Geraldine Ferraro became the first female vice president candidate for a major political party. But Reagan won the hearts of Americans and won the 1984 election by a landslide. His second term was defined by his continuous negotiation with the Soviets. In December of 1987, Reagan and Gorbachev, the Soviet leader, signed a treaty eliminating American and Soviet intermediate-range nuclear forces from Europe, the most significant arms-controlling agreement of the nuclear age.
The economy of the 1980s was one of both high and low points. For most of the decade, the economy boomed. One particular device that emerged was the leveraged buyout. Leveraged buyouts were financial structures that allowed financial institutions, usually private equity firms, to buy companies with huge amounts of borrowed money and very little of their own capital. Private equity firms like Fortsman Little and Kohlberg Kravis Robertson Company orchestrated a series of buyouts that garnered billions. Leveraged buyouts could be highly profitable because the private equity firm could pay off the debt using the purchased company's assets, allowing them to quickly become owners of profitable businesses that they paid very little for. On the other end of the spectrum, the largest single-day stock market crash to that date occurred on October 19, 1987, or Black Monday. Experts don't really know why, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted 508.32 points. They lost 22.6% of its total value. However, the economy quickly rebounded and remained relatively unscathed. And now it's time for some sports. On February 22, 1980, the U.S. Olympic team beat the Soviet Union 4-3.
Over to Ramsey. The Lebanon gets checked by Ramsey. McClanahan is there. The puck is still loose. 11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now. Morrow up to Schultz. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Celtics win. In 1985, Mike Tyson made his star debut and wins 26 out of 28 fights by TKO or KO.
He flies pigeons now.
In 1986, Mike Tyson fights Trevor Berbick for the World Boxing Council heavyweight title.
That was a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Berbick is down. This one is going to be over, I believe. It's over. That's all, and we have a new era in boxing.
In 1984, Michael Jordan joined the Chicago Bulls and quickly emerged as the league star.
John Lennon, Queen, Billy Joel, and Michael Jackson were all artists on the hit charts in the 1980s. Michael Jackson released the popular song Thriller, selling 25 million copies. MTV went on air with running music videos. We lost the beloved John Lennon when he was shot in New York City, and CDs finally outsold vinyls for the first time.
Also noteworthy, in the Chicago area, 1982, 7 people died as a result of pain relief medicine capsules that had been laced with poison. This leads to nationwide panic about the consumption of Tylenol. The 80s witnessed the birth of quality television shows such as Full House, All in the Family, Growing Pains, Golden Girls, Baywatch, and who could forget The Cosby Show.
Dad, I thought about what you said, and I see your point. Thank you. Thank you.
But I have a point, too.
Make your point.
You're a doctor and Mom's a lawyer. And you're both successful and everything, and that's great. But maybe I was born to be a regular person and have a regular life. If you weren't a doctor, I wouldn't love you less because you're my dad. And so, instead of acting disappointed because I'm not like you, maybe you can just accept who I am and love me anyway because I'm your son.
Theo, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything. Now you are afraid to try because you're afraid that your brain is going to explode and it's going to ooze out of your ears. Now I'm telling you, you are going to try as hard as you can. And you're going to do it because I said so. I am your father. I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out.
Hey, hey, teach me how to twerk it, hey. They be like, Smooth, what? Can you teach me how to jerk it? You know why? Cause all the girls love me. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin'. And for you to back it up and dump it. Get it. Put your arms out front, lean side to side. They gon' be on you when they see you hit that Dougie ride. Ain't nobody fitting with my bro from on the side. He go by Bubba and he hit that dance like thunder. Okay, I ain't from Dallas, but I D-Town boogie. I show my moves on to everybody tryna do me. I lead the functions and all the ladies tryna screw me. Now you just do you, and I'ma do it all day. Dudes love to hate, so they try to shoot me. Females be stuck to me, I think they try to glue me. I make the party shine bright when it started gloomy. This